Today's episode of the More You Know podcast features David Burkus, who's a best-selling author, speaker, and leadership and innovation professor, with a TED Talk with over 2 million views, and is also a regular contributor to the Harvard Business Review, as well as Andrew Cruz, who's a US Marine Gunnery Sergeant and also a serial entrepreneur, who's founded multiple companies including Olivedrab Performance. And lastly, Dr. Mark T. Wade, who's the founder of the American Posture Institute, Hustle and Scale, and Virtual Summit Software. I asked each of them how someone could improve their ability to execute their vision. Enjoy the episode.
I'm just trying to make it all make sense.
The More You Know podcast.
When I think about vision, I think about goals, and I think about how people set goals for their certain career, or really, a vision is really just what it looks like when you achieve that goal. And the irony is that most of us fixate on that actually too much. We know from a lot of different research that systems work better than goals. Goals are great to set, and then there's some research that says when we set them and we announce them to the world, we get a little bit of a dopamine hit, and then we actually make it less likely that we will achieve that goal in the end because we've already gotten some satisfaction just by declaring the goal, right? Have you ever met somebody that publicly announced that they're starting a new diet or committing to waking up at 6 a.m. and then 2 weeks later it's done? If you've ever met anybody who posts their new resolutions online, you've seen this at play. Instead, you have the vision, you have the goal, etc. But you got to think about what systems, what daily habits, what actions can you commit to that will bring that to play. Since the beginning of 2019, I've sort of adopted this mantra of just show up. Whatever my goals are, there's usually a place I have to show up to and an activity I have to do. It might be my home office to be writing. It might be the gym to be picking up a barbell and exercising. Whatever it is, I make a point to just show up and then do the action. That's my system, the just show up system. I think most of us need to do the same thing. Whatever is the goal and the vision, that's great, but focus less on that and focus more on the day-to-day. What are the actions you need to be doing? What are the systems you need to put in place in your life to achieve that vision? I think that works far better.
So everyone's vision may seem semi-complex, totally complex, not complex at all. But at the end of the day, everything that we do in life is very simple. It may not be easy, but for damn sure it is simple. Now, what we do in the military, what we do in order to pick something apart to accomplish a task, we look at the big picture and we take this complex task and look to simplify it in its most basic, in the most basic way, right? So what would you do in order to execute your vision? Take a look at what your goal is, right? And then brainstorm. Think about every single detail that has to be accomplished in order for you to accomplish your vision. You start writing down A, B, C, D, E, F, which are essentially checkpoints. And then what you need to do from there is prioritize. What's the most important thing you need to do? Prioritize everything 1 through 10 or 1 through whatever it is, and then you tackle one obstacle at a time. You take one step forward and you continue to take one step forward until checkpoint 1 is done. Once checkpoint 1 is done, then you go on to checkpoint 2. Once checkpoint 2 is done, you move forward to checkpoint 3. And just like that, you'll begin having a compound effect. Now, if something's not going to plan, make sure you pause, you reflect. What have I done well? What can I have done better? What will I do different? You course correct, make these millimeter course adjustments, and then execute, push, and figure it out by trial and error. Nothing will ever be perfect. You just need to move forward and figure it out. Be resourceful, believe in yourself, understand what your capabilities are, and trust the process. Stay the course.
Well, how can you improve your ability to execute your vision comes down to one, what is your vision? This is going to come down to a factor of what are you trying to do? Like if you are, again, trying to build financial wealth, one of the best ways you can, improve your ability to execute that is surround yourself by wealthy people. Tony Robbins, I believe it is, says success leaves clues, and success begets success. So the more you're around, I guess in general, without knowing what your specific vision is, the more you want to increase a certain aspect of success, you need to be around the people that are achieving that success. One, it'll hold you to a higher standard. Two, you'll be able to learn the wisdom and the ways that they've achieved this success and be able to implement those skills or habits or routines to be able to get that. So I'd say putting yourself around successful people who have already done what you're trying to achieve.
I'm just trying to make it all make sense.
The
More
You
No
Podcast.